Thailand's military insists that its decision to impose martial law does not amount to a coup. But the country's interim government was not consulted about the move and has taken no part in the events which followed the pre-dawn announcement in Bangkok. The military have shut down a number of television stations and warned the media to watch what they say. Soldiers have told pro- and anti-government demonstrators not to resort to violence. Southeast Asia correspondent Samantha Hawley joins us now from Bangkok. Sam, apart from anything else during the day, there has been a meeting of the cabinet of the interim government. The Prime Minister has subsequently said, I believe, that he's asked the Election Commission to hold an election at the beginning of August, effectively a delay of a couple of weeks on what was originally planned by the government. But I wonder, how does that in any way address the military's decision to step in because of the long-standing stalemate in Thai politics?
Well, not at all, Jim. In fact, the government has been pushing for an election the whole time. Of course, they tried it in February, it failed. They then tried to set another election date in July, on July the 20th. Then the Prime Minister was removed from office. Now they're asking for a new election date, and certainly we have no idea if that would actually proceed or be agreed to. It's very uncertain times here in Thailand. The nation is under martial law. The soldiers came out on the streets this morning to make sure everyone knew that they know that the military is now in control of the streets around the country, and particularly, of course, in Bangkok. So any thought of an election today might just be wishful thinking. Down the track, obviously, people will hope there is an election, but it remains to be seen how this plays out.
The interim Prime Minister also said he was trying to make arrangements with the military to arrange discussions. The Army Chief had said at a news conference late in the afternoon in Bangkok that he was inviting the government and the opposition to talk. But did he suggest any sort of framework or mechanism for these proposed discussions so that this deep split could be overcome?
No, he didn't. And in that same press conference, he did say that he wanted to talk to all parties about a way out for his country. So all parties to come to the table to give ideas about how this can be resolved. But then, Jim, he did go on to say, where is the government? It was a question, where is the government? Well, we all know that the government was holding a cabinet meeting and a statement was put out after that. But some people are reading that statement to mean that perhaps in the next few days or in the time ahead, we could still see a coup here in Bangkok, that the remaining members of an already very damaged government, as you know, could actually be removed. So again, his language has got people concerned, obviously pro-government supporters concerned about what just might lie ahead in the days ahead.
I suppose one question is, why just now? Why would the military move just now? It said it had stepped in because the political situation in Thailand was not normal, quote unquote, but it hasn't been normal there for at least 6 months. Were there any signs the situation was going to spin even further out of control?
Well, there was rhetoric pointing to that. The anti-government protest leader, Suthep Thakksabarn, had certainly strengthened his words in recent days. He had said that there would be a final push, if you like, that the anti-government protesters had had enough. They wanted to rid this nation of the remaining members of the government, and they would fight to do that. So there was rhetoric about that. Whether or not that would have played out we would have had to wait and see. Obviously, there are red shirt protesters as well on the outskirts of the capital, so there's certainly the possibility that violence could have erupted. And we did see, of course, last week a deadly grenade attack. 3 people were killed, many others were wounded, so the security situation was tense. But as you say, it was no worse than we've seen across the past 6 months, and some people have been critical about this decision today. Human Rights Watch, for instance, has said this should never have happened today. It's an old law that shouldn't be used anymore, and that really this is now a nation under military control, a military that will have ultimate power to do really whatever they like in terms of the citizens here and in terms of their human rights.
We might leave it there, Sam. Samantha Hawley in Bangkok.